Welcome to Serene Sleep Journeys. I'm Mia. If you've enjoyed my channel, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe. Tonight's story is called Song of the Universe, Thor's Dream Journey. In the universe of the planet Asgard, there is a magnificent land shrouded in sacred and mysterious light. This land is called Valhalla and is the territory of Austin, who is the ruler of this planet. The sky of Valhalla is filled with stars all year round, and the tranquility of the night wraps it all up in a deep and peaceful way. Thor, the god of thunder, is the son of Austin and the prince of Valhalla. He was tall and burly, wearing a silver-white battle robe, shining brightly under the stars. Surf is a strong and brave warrior whose strength and courage add a unique touch of glory to the entire planet. When night falls, Valhalla's castle looks particularly majestic in the starry sky. The towering spire points directly to the sky, and the starlight shines on the walls of the castle, outlining mysterious runes. Sever often stood alone on the high platform of the castle, gazing at the stars in the distance, and his mind seemed to be floating with the rhythm of the universe. There are not only residents of Asgard on this land, but also alien civilizations from other planets. The ice giants Frost rule on the edge of Valhalla, and their territory is a mysterious ice field. Flo's tall body loomed in the cold wind like a living ice statue. They maintain a peaceful and cautious coexistence with the gods of Asgard. The planet Valhalla at night is a peaceful and mysterious picture with twinkling stars. Safer stands on a high platform, listening to the subtle melody of the universe. This is a wonderful feeling of blending with the stars. Luz is a vast, cold field of ice covered in shimmering white snow. In this mysterious and icy land, inhabited by Floss's tribe of ice giants, their bodies are made of pure ice crystals, and their tall figures seem to blend into the ice sheet. The leader of Floss is Frostlake, the leader of the ice giants. He is a wise and calm leader. Whenever night falls, Frostlake will lead his tribe to gather in the center of the ice field and look up at the stars. They deeply felt the power of the universe, and the light of the stars seemed to interact with their bodies, conveying a mysterious and ancient power. On this edge of Valhalla, a delicate balance is maintained between the thunder god Surf and the ice giant leader Frostrek. Although there were conflicts between the two tribes under Austin's rule, they gradually learned to survive together and maintained a peaceful and co-prosperous situation. On the ice sheet at night, the starlight is reflected on the pure ice surface, like a mirror of the universe. Thor, the god of thunder, and Frostlek, the leader of the ice giant clan, stood opposite each other, staring at the starry sky. At this moment, they felt the connection between them, as if the power of the universe was silently connecting different existences together. Frostlek, the leader of the ice giants, stands like an ice sculpture on the top of the ice field. His eyes are deep and wise, as if they carry the inheritance and history of the ice giant clan. In this cold land, the ice giants work together to maintain the tranquility of Flos. At night, on the planet Valhalla, the stars on the ice sheet are particularly dazzling. Thor, the god of thunder, and Frostrek stood together, with no hostility between them, only a common respect. The sound of the universe in the starry sky is like a melodious melody, gradually melting the tension between the two races. On this mysterious night, the life in the universe on the planet Valhalla showed multiple dimensions. The confrontation between Surf and Frostrek is not only a balance between the two races, but also a symbol of the harmonious symbiosis of the entire universe. Different civilizations and life forms meet at this moment, jointly creating the diversity of the planet. The wind blew across the ice sheet, bringing with it a refreshing chill. Serfo felt the texture of the ice crystals on the ice sheet, as if he was integrated with the land. The cosmic sounds of the night stirred deep in his soul, guiding him to relax and immerse himself in the melodies of the universe. That night, the thunder god Surf and the ice giant leader Frost Lake stood on the top of the ice field together, staring at the stars. They seemed to be witnesses to the universe, feeling the resonance of different lives on this land. Under the guidance of the power of the universe, their minds gradually entered a peaceful and tranquil state. In the night of the planet Valhalla, the starlight fell gently on the bodies of Surf and Frost Lake, as if the hand of the universe was caressing their hearts. They stood on the top of the ice field, watching the twinkling stars, and resonated with each other in their hearts. This is a night where the dialogue between different races is not just words, but a tacit understanding of the soul. Sever felt Frostrek's deep love for this ice field, and their mutual understanding transcended the language barrier. The melody of the universe played in their hearts, resolving the barriers that once existed. And this night, the guardians in the starry sky also joined in the harmonious resonance of the universe. The figures of the guardians were like streams of light. They floated over and surrounded the god of thunder and the leader of the ice giants. They are the guardians of the starry sky and exist to maintain the balance of the universe. Surf felt the peaceful power conveyed by the guardians. Their existence is like a group of elves in dreams, injecting the light of the universe into every living being. Surf's mind became quieter in the presence of the guardian, and his breathing gradually became one with the sound of the universe. In the intoxication of the cosmic dance, Surf, Frost Lake, and the guardians formed a brilliant brilliance in the night. The stars merged around them like a cosmic celebration. This dazzling scene immersed the entire Valhalla planet in endless tranquility. At night, the castle of Valhalla becomes more mysterious and majestic under the starry sky. Austin, the planet's ruler, also feels this cosmic turmoil. He stood on the high tower of the castle, staring at the starry sky in the distance, feeling an inexplicable joy in his heart. Austin deeply understood the wonder of this cosmic force. He knew that the diverse life forms of Valhalla found a way to live in peace with each other on this night. Different gods, ice giants, and guardians together constitute a harmonious picture of the planet and universe. Inside the castle, Austin put aside all doubts. His mind gradually merged into the starry sky, feeling the baptism of this cosmic power. As the leader of the planet, he feels a sense of responsibility to make the entire Valhalla a vibrant and peaceful planet. However, the night of harmony is not eternal. Under the tranquil, starry sky, a dark force quietly approaches the planet Valhalla. A group of evil forces that once coexisted with Thor and the ice giants, called the Shadow Legion, suddenly appeared on the edge of the planet. When Thor, the god of thunder, sensed a strange movement, he immediately realized that his homeland was facing an unprecedented threat. Under the guidance of the voice of the universe, His mind sensed the aura of dark forces, which made him step forward without hesitation. Savor jumped into the sky, his silver-white shirt rustling in the wind. His eyes shone with determination, determined to safeguard the peace of Valhalla. The emergence of the Shadow Army has made everything on the planet tense, and Thor, the god of thunder, knows that he cannot sit idly by. In the tranquility of the cosmic night, a group of dark shadows squirmed quietly like poisonous snakes, and suddenly appeared on the edge of the planet Valhalla. This group of evil forces that once coexisted peacefully with Thor and the ice giants is called the Shadow Army, and its leader is the Demon King Deimos. Their arrival plunged the entire planet into a state of silent tension. Thunder god Surf stood on the high platform of the castle. He sensed a strange movement, and a powerful and dark aura was approaching them. Safer's eyes shone with determination, and he knew that this was not just a battle, but also the protection of his homeland. With a loud noise, Safer jumped up, wearing a silver-white jersey and fluttering in the wind like a flag. The Thor warhammer in his hand sparkled with lightning, like a symbol of the power of the universe. Dark clouds began to gather around him, and thunder and lightning flashed across the sky, announcing the coming battle. The Shadow Legions surged in, and their black-armored knights, demon mages, and fallen angels formed a powerful team. The figure of Demon King Deimos loomed in the darkness, his eyes filled with the desire to conquer Valhalla. Surfo faced the attack of the Dark Army, and a thunderous roar resounded through the night sky. Swinging Thor's hammer, he charged towards the enemy's lines. The first blow, thunder roared, knocking back some of the dark knights. Surfo's figure flickered, like the arrival of the god of war. The Dark Legion did not show weakness. They released dark spells one after another, and used their fallen power to try to weaken the power of Thor. The demon mage's magic missiles intertwined with thunder and lightning, and the night sky was filled with a strong aura of magic and lightning. Surf relied on his solid divine power and agility to skillfully avoid the attacks of the dark forces. His hammer is like a whirlwind, and every blow is a merciless blow against the darkness. In the fierce battle, Thor's body radiated blazing light, like the most dazzling meteor in the starry sky. In the castle, Frost Lake of the Ice Giants also joined the battlefield. He wielded a huge ice hammer and fought fiercely with the demon warriors of the Dark Legion. The intersection of ice and fire plunged the entire battlefield into chaos. Although Frost Lake's body is huge, he is extremely agile. He and the god of thunder formed an insurmountable barrier between heaven and earth. In this battle in the night sky, the guardians of the planet are also on the front line. They are like messengers of light, fighting against the forces of darkness. The residents of Valhalla also fought back, and the castle's defenses became impregnable at this moment. As the power of darkness intensifies, Thor, the god of thunder, realizes that he must launch the most powerful offensive to defeat the Demon King Deimos and his army of shadows. He raised his arms and shouted, stimulating the divine energy in his body. Thor's warhammer released dazzling thunder and lightning, and Surf's body was wrapped in a layer of holy light. He suddenly rose into the sky, as if he had become a huge meteor in the sky. A thunderous roar echoed through the battlefield, and the god of thunder fell from the night sky, hitting the Demon King Deimos with infinite power When Deimos saw the menacing god of thunder, he showed no sign of weakness. A mocking smile appeared on his lips, releasing a dark shield. Thor's attack collided with the power of darkness, causing a strong wave of energy. The entire planet seemed to be trembling for this decisive battle. The cold wind howled, thunder and lightning crisscrossed in the starry sky, and the night became deeper. The duel between Sever and Deimos became the most intense scene in the history of the planet. Thor's warhammer is like a gust of wind, and every blow contains divine power. Deimos, on the other hand, used the power of darkness to skillfully dodge Thor's attacks and launch a devastating spell to fight back. The entire battlefield fell into extreme tension and fierceness. The ice giants, guardians, and residents of the planet in the castle are also fighting against the Shadow Army with all their strength. Every battle is like fireworks in the starry sky, gorgeous and dangerous. The sky above the planet is filled with sparks of magic and the brilliance of thunder and lightning. And the battlefield under the night is like a gorgeous picture. At the height of the battle, Surf felt the call of the cosmic force. A mysterious connection was established between his mind and the stars, as if he was blessed by the universe. His body exuded endless brilliance, and the power of Thor's warhammer reached its peak. Sever suddenly decided and launched the final blow. He swung the Thor warhammer and turned into a beam of light and rushed towards Deimos. There was a deafening thunder, and the figure of the Dark Lord instantly shattered in the light and turned into stars all over the sky. The entire planet seemed to declare victory at this moment. The power of the Shadow Legion was destroyed, and the breath of darkness completely dissipated in the starry sky. Surf raised his arms and cheered, and the ice giants, guardians, and residents of the planet in the castle also cheered and celebrated. When the starry sky gradually returned to tranquility, Thor, the god of thunder, stood on the high platform of the castle, surrounded by a faint glow of stars. The sound of the universe sounded gently in the night sky, like a melodious nocturne, slowly reaching the ears of every resident. Sever closed his eyes and felt the peace deep in his soul. The guardians in the starry sky turned into breezes, fluttering gently in the night sky, spreading the blessings of the universe to every resident of Valhalla. The ice giants, guardians, and residents of the planet also gathered around Thor, enjoying this peaceful night together. Inside the castle, the residents gradually dispersed and returned to their homes. The clouds of war have been dispersed, leaving only the stars of peace. The curtains of every house were gently drawn, and starlight filled every room through the windows. Night falls, and the stars shine brightly. Thor, the god of thunder, slowly walked down the high platform of the castle. His mind gradually calmed down, like the battle that had just passed. He walked through the corridors of the castle and felt the warmth of home. Finally, Safer came to a large and bright bedroom. The bed was covered with soft duvets, and the quiet night was outside the window. He lay down and closed his tired eyes. The light of the stars shone on his body through the window, as if the hand of the universe was gently caressing him. To the melody of the cosmic sound, Thor fell into sleep. He dreamed that under the stars, the planet Valhalla continued to coexist harmoniously, and he himself became the legend of the planet's guardian. In every corner of the castle, the guardians, ice giants and planet residents gradually sank into the abyss of dreams. The entire planet Valhalla, guided by the voice of the universe, entered a quiet and peaceful night. Slowly, every resident is immersed in sweet dreams. The stars are like the seeds of dreams, blooming in the night sky. The entire planet is bathed in the tenderness of dreams, and people who fall asleep feel the care and tranquil embrace of the universe. On this harmonious night, the planet Valhalla became a kingdom of dreams. Every resident fell asleep gently in the embrace of the starry sky, ushering in a peaceful and peaceful night. Welcome to Serene Sleep Journeys. I'm Mia. If you've enjoyed my channel, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe. Tonight's story is called Travelers Returning Home. In the small town of Kelbridge, Arthur walks alone on a forest path under the setting sun. His adventurous spirit makes him eager to explore the unknown areas of the continent. At this moment, he suddenly heard a crisp laughter, which made him involuntarily walk in the direction of the sound. In an open meadow, Arthur saw a young girl holding a flying stone gently in her hand. The gem shimmers with blue light, making the whole scene appear mysterious and alluring. The girl's name is Alice, and she is also a young traveler looking for adventure. Arthur and Alice talked and found that they were both curious about the unknown on the continent. Alice shared that the flying stone she owns is an ancient, mysterious gem that can float in the air and bring extraordinary power to the holder. The two felt a wonderful tacit understanding while talking and laughing, as if their meeting was fate. However, this beautiful encounter was quickly broken by the sound of horse hooves in the distance. Soldiers of the Imperial Army appeared in the town, and their target was the flying stone in Alice's hand. Without hesitation, Arthur took Alice and fled into the alleys of the town and began their adventure. In the afterglow of the sunset, Arthur and Alice face an unknown adventure together. Behind them is the pursuit of the Imperial Army, and in front is the unknown path to the mysterious Sky City. Their encounter is just the beginning of the adventure. Arthur and Alice embark on a journey through dense forests, away from the Imperial forces hunting them. Their goal is to find the path to the mysterious Sky City of Boland. The forest is full of ancient trees, and the sunlight shines on them through the gaps in the leaves, like a mysterious fairyland. With a gentle sound of wind, Arthur and Alice felt the mysterious power hidden deep in the forest. They discover a trail hidden behind ancient trees that leads to Simbala, an exotic city. The buildings in Simbala tower into the sky, and every building exudes a strong, exotic flavor. On the streets of the city, they met various residents, including enthusiastic vendors, mysterious mages, and artists who were passionate about art. Arthur and Alice could not help but be attracted by the multiculturalism of Simbala. They tasted exotic food, enjoyed exotic dances, and felt that the city was full of vitality in an ancient library. Arthur and Alice discover more secrets about the flying stones. An ancient scroll records the origin of the flying stone and its relationship with continental civilization. This made them more curious about the gems in their hands, and also made them realize that Boland's problem may involve a deeper history. As night falls, the lights of Simbala are reflected on the lake, and the city's night is like a dreamy show. Arthur and Alice spent a peaceful and magical night in this exotic place, adding more color to their adventurous journey. However, unknown adventures are still waiting for them. Boland, once a prosperous place illuminated by the light of flying stones, is now immersed in ruins and silence. Arthur and Alice walked through the streets of the city and felt a heavy and lonely atmosphere. Their goal is to solve the mystery of the decline of Poland's German civilization, and at the same time, they have to face a more threatening pursuit from the Imperial Army. In the city's central square, they discovered a magnificent altar set with faded gems. Arthur gently stroked the ancient stone tablet, while Alice concentrated on studying the history of Poland. Gradually, they uncover the truth about Sal's past as a respected scientist. Thrall's ambition is to bring prosperity to the continent by mastering the power of the flying stone. However, the experiment had devastating consequences. The flying stone went out of control, and Boland's civilization began to collapse. In order to gain greater power, Thrall betrayed his ideals and attempted to conquer the entire continent by controlling the flying stone. In the ruins of the city, Arthur and Alice discovered a secret passage leading to an underground laboratory. At the end of the corridor, they found Thrall's laboratory, full of abandoned equipment and unfinished experimental records. These records reveal the secrets of the flying stones and how Thrall betrayed his own ideals. What shocked them even more was that Thrall was actually controlling the Imperial Army. At this moment, there was a dull sound of footsteps, and the captain of the Imperial Army appeared. He said coldly that although Thrall's experiments brought destruction, they also allowed the Empire to gain more power. In order to protect this secret, Arthur and Alice had to face a greater threat. They decided to temporarily evacuate the laboratory, preparing to search for more clues and reveal more secrets about Poland and the Empire. In the darkness of the ruins of Poland, their journey becomes more confusing. Arthur and Alice decided to investigate in depth to uncover the truth hidden under the ruins of Poland. They travel through the ruins of the city in search of more clues, trying to understand the secrets of the flying stones and the true intentions of the Imperial forces. In a corner of the city, they discovered a library buried by time. In the dusty books, they found more information about the flying stones and the Imperial Army. It turned out that the Imperial Army had cooperated with Thrall a few years ago and jointly planned a far-reaching conspiracy. The Imperial forces took advantage of Thrall's experiments going out of control, seizing the opportunity to gain more power and seizing control of the entire continent amid the chaos. As their investigation deepens, Arthur and Aerith come into contact with the former inhabitants of Poland, and some of their survivors reveal more untold stories about Thrall and the Imperial forces. It turns out that Thrall was once the pride of Poland, and the original intention of his experiment was to bring prosperity. However, the temptation of power caused him to abandon his original intention, leading to Poland's catastrophic collapse. In an abandoned laboratory, Arthur and Alice discover an unfinished letter that reveals Thrall's plan to use the power of the flying stone to experiment again and bring the Imperial Army under his control. The implementation of this plan will bring greater disaster to the entire continent. While Arthur and Alice were thinking about how to reveal the truth, a group of Imperial Army soldiers suddenly appeared and surrounded them. Faced with this sudden threat, the two had to make a difficult decision. They decide to use Boland's underground passage to escape, and at the same time decide to face Sal personally and reveal his conspiracy. Deep in the ruins, the fates of Arthur and Alice become more confusing, and the challenges they will face become more severe. Arthur and Alice escape the pursuit of the Imperial Army and use the underground passages under the ruins of Boland to escape a danger. They decide to face the truth, find Thrall, and expose his conspiracy. Passing through abandoned laboratories and broken corridors, they finally arrived at the heart of Boland City. In the core area of the city, they found a magnificent hall, which was Thrall's base camp. The hall is filled with an ancient magical atmosphere, as if it carries the past glory of Poland. In the center of the hall, they found Thrall, sitting in front of an altar decorated with flying stones. Arthur and Alice approached the altar, and Sal's eyes stayed on them for a moment, as if he could see everything. The atmosphere in the hall became solemn and tense. Finally, Alice broke the silence. "Let's reveal the truth and stop this disaster." Thrall sighed deeply and turned his eyes to the flying stone on the altar. "This stone was once the ideal in my heart, but now it has become a symbol of my failure. I admit my fault, but I also feel sorry for this continent. Worries about the future." Arthur asked about the true purpose of the Imperial Army, and after a moment of silence, Thrall gradually revealed the truth. Years ago, Boland was a wonderland of flying stones, and Thrall was a well-respected scientist in the land. He dreams of bringing prosperity and progress to the continent by mastering the power of the flying stone. Behind this ideal lies a seductive and dangerous desire. As early as when Poland was a prosperous place, the Imperial Army had secretly noticed the potential power contained in this land. They sent spies deep into Poland to try to obtain the secret of the flying stone. It was during this process that they discovered Sal's research. By chance, representatives of the Imperial Army made contact with Thrall. They lured Thrall into working with them with the promise of endless resources and support. The target of this conspiracy is not only the power of the flying stone, but also the results of Poland's huge technological and magical research. In order to realize his ideals, Thrall was eager to change the fate of the continent, but was eventually deceived by the promise of the Imperial Army. So, he began to conspire with the Imperial Army and jointly planned a great experiment. The purpose of this experiment is to control the energy of the flying stone to enable Boland to achieve greater prosperity and become the leader of the entire continent. However, unforeseen problems arose during the experiment. The power of the flying stone was far beyond their control, causing a terrible disaster. Poland's civilization began to collapse rapidly. The city's buildings collapsed, the earth cracked, and the loss of control of the flying stones also triggered natural disasters in other parts of the continent. All this came at a huge cost, and the Imperial forces gradually gained more power amid the chaos. Their goal has grown from the original flying stone to a much larger one, and the Empire's ruling hand has extended to the entire continent. The fall of Boland was only the beginning of this conspiracy, and the aftermath of the disaster also swept the entire continent, pushing it into unprecedented chaos. This experiment became a tragedy in history, and Boland was turned into ruins. Hiding an unknown secret, I desire power and want to bring prosperity to this continent. But my greed led to the destruction of everything. Now, I am willing to pay the price for my past crimes. Thrall's voice was low and regretful. Faced with all this, Arthur and Alice realized that they must work together to stop the attack of the Imperial army and prevent a greater disaster from happening again. As a result, they reached a temporary cooperation agreement with Sal. The atmosphere in the hall became tense, and in the distance, the footsteps of the Imperial army gradually approached. Arthur and Aerith stood beside Thrall, preparing for the coming battle. At this moment, they felt the weight of history and were determined to change this turning point of fate. With faith in the future, they welcomed the dawn of victory together. The atmosphere in the hall was solemn and tense. Arthur and Alice stood beside Thrall, preparing for the upcoming battle. The footsteps of the Imperial army were getting closer and closer, and a tense atmosphere filled the depths of the hall. This is a battle we cannot avoid. Arthur's eyes were firm. He took a deep breath and tightened the weapon in his hand. Alice nodded slightly, her eyes flashing with courage and determination. We cannot let the Imperial army continue their conspiracy. This battle is not only for Boland, but also for the future of the entire continent. The door of the main hall slowly opened, and a team of Imperial troops entered. Their military uniforms shone with cold metallic light, and their steps were firm and orderly. At the front of the team was a general in armor, his eyes revealing arrogance and ambition. "It seems that you are preparing to fight us," the general said mockingly, the weapon in his hand emitting a dazzling cold light. Arthur responded calmly, "We will not allow you to continue to destroy the continent. This battle is to defend freedom and peace." The battle was about to break out, and fierce conflicts broke out in the hall. Arthur wields his weapons and engages in fierce battles with Imperial soldiers, while Alice uses her magic to wreak havoc on the battlefield. Thrall also joined the battle group, using his technological power to fight against the advanced weapons of the Imperial army. During the battle, the hall echoed with the sounds of metal clashing and magic colliding. Arthur and Alice's tacit cooperation allowed them to operate with ease on the battlefield, and Thrall's technological weapons also bought them valuable time. However, the strength of the Imperial army was so strong that the war situation fell into a stalemate. Just when the situation reached a deadlock, Arthur suddenly felt a powerful force surge in his body. He looked up and saw Alice glowing brightly, releasing an ancient and powerful magic. "We are not fighting alone," Alice's voice echoed throughout the hall. "The power of the mainland is with us." Her magic is woven into Arthur's weapons, multiplying their power. Arthur felt a powerful energy. He waved his weapon and launched a wave of powerful attacks. At this moment, the battle situation reversed. The Imperial army gradually retreated, and the sound of fighting in the hall gradually subsided. Arthur, Alice, and Thrall stood in the Hall of Victory, looking at the retreating figure of the Imperial army. Although victory is hard won, it is only the beginning. Arthur stared into the distance, knowing that there were still many problems to be solved on the continent. and their adventure was not over. In the ruins of the hall, the journey of Arthur and Alice will continue. They will explore the deeper secrets of the continent and lead people towards a future full of hope. Welcome to Serene Sleep Journeys. I'm Mia. If you've enjoyed my channel, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe. Tonight's story is called The Legacy of the Magic Time. On the border of the kingdom of Aldous, hidden in a castle deep in the magnificent mountains, lives a young and mysterious man named Alex Edwards. There is an indescribable magical power flowing through Alex that makes him transcend the limits of ordinary humans. However, this mysterious ability did not make him arrogant, but made him more confused and exhausted. Whenever night falls, Alex returns from the majestic mountains, filled with an ancient magical atmosphere. His eyes were deep and empty, as if filled with endless contemplation and sorrow. There are no other residents in the castle, only him wandering there alone, trying to find a kind of relief beyond power. Alex's powers do not come from his choice, but from his bloodline. His father was once one of the most outstanding magicians in the kingdom of Aldous. He passed down part of his mysterious power to Alex in order to protect the kingdom. However, this legacy also makes Alex a sword in the king's hand, and he is asked to participate in the upcoming war. Alex longs for freedom deep in his heart, and he does not want to be tied to the king's war orders. His resentment and helplessness about the past made him a lonely and silent night watcher. When night fell, he would often walk on the top of the castle tower and talk to the stars. On this mysterious and silent night, Alex's fate is destined to change due to an encounter. In the woods near the castle, Sophie Harper, an innocent and kind-hearted woman, accidentally witnessed Alex's return at night. Attracted by his deep eyes, Sophie became keenly interested in this mysterious night watchman and decided to explore his inner secrets. In the deep mountains of the kingdom of Aldous, when night falls, a mysterious light often shines on the high tower of the castle. Alex Edwards, the young man with magical powers, comes back from the castle deep in the mountains every day after dusk. Sophie Harper, an innocent girl living in a small village, is attracted by Alex's mysterious identity. She began to wait under the night, watching for the moment when Alex would return. One day, Sophie was waiting on the path near the castle and saw Alex gradually emerging in the afterglow of the setting sun. She didn't say anything, just smiled and stepped forward. Alex felt a little surprised, but Sophie's warm gaze made him feel a strange, yet familiar emotion. Sophie didn't know Alex's past, but she became strongly curious about his innermost feelings. Her purpose was not to ask about his secrets, but to share this quiet time with him at dusk. In the days that followed, Sophie waited for Alex's return every night as night fell. The two never spoke too much, but through their eyes and smiles, they slowly established a special tacit understanding. Sophie's company and understanding made Alex gradually calm down. They began walking together on the paths around the castle, admiring the quiet beauty of the stars and mountains. Sophie's kindness and innocence resolved Alex's loneliness, and made him feel the long-lost warmth. This mysterious and quiet night also became the beginning of the two hearts gradually getting closer. Alex, on the other hand, began to think about whether there was a possibility that could allow him to stay away from the king's war orders and go on his own path. Alex and Sophie's encounter gradually evolved into a special friendship. Sophie's kindness and understanding made Alex feel warmer than ever before. The night became their common companion, and the starry sky witnessed their spiritual communication. Alex gradually develops deep feelings for Sophie. His heart began to ripple, and he felt a long-lost tenderness. Sophie became a ray of light in his life, making him gradually forget the shadows of the past. In the afterglow of dusk, Alex took the initiative to express his gratitude and dependence to Sophie. Sophie accepted this sincere emotion, and the tacit understanding between the two sublimated into a sincere and profound love. However, Alex's inner struggle has not completely disappeared. He began to reject the king's and mentor's war orders and chose to follow his inner truth. This decision brought great pressure and danger, but Alex chose to spend the rest of his life with Sophie without hesitation. The king noticed the change in Alex and was furious at his betrayal. The mentor tried to get Alex to change his mind through threats and inducements. However, the light of Alex's love makes him indestructible, and he is determined to protect Sophie, even if the world is hostile to them. Alex and Sophie's love gradually bloomed in adversity, and their hearts merged into a moving piece of music. Under the clouds of war, two firm hearts became brighter and brighter, building a sky of love for themselves. As Alex refuses the king's orders, he and Sophie become the most wanted rebels in the kingdom. The king sent his knights and wizards to hunt down the fugitive couple. They embarked on a life and death escape journey in the forest. In order to protect Alex, Sophie decided to take the risk to meet Mrs. Sallyman, a witch with mysterious powers. In the name of Alex's mother, she begged Mrs. Sallyman to help them. Mrs. Sallyman knew Alex's origins well and was also shocked by his power, but she saw Sophie's sincerity and determination and agreed to help them. On a dangerous night, Sophie and Alex traveled to Madame Sallyman's hidden lair. After some mysterious rituals, Mrs. Sallyman successfully relieved Alex from the king's control. However, this did not allow them to escape danger. As the pursuers get closer and closer, Sophie and Alex have to travel through dangerous forests, cross fast-flowing rivers, and avoid the wizard's spells. In the process of escaping, they not only faced the test of nature, but also constantly resolved the hidden dangers left by Mrs. Sallyman. However, they firmly believed that as long as they were by each other's side, no matter how many difficulties lay ahead, they would be able to overcome them. Finally, through a vast fog, they successfully escaped from the kingdom's borders. However, this is only the beginning of their adventure, and the future is full of unknown challenges and tests. But in this crisis-ridden world, Alex and Sophie hold each other's hands tightly, determined to face all unknown adventures together. After escaping the king's pursuit, Alex and Sophie seek the help of Lady Sallyman. Lady Sallyman guides them through the forest to the depths of an ancient temple. This is where the fire demon lives, and is the only way to terminate the contract. In the temple, they discover a mysterious door leading to the realm of the fire demon. In front of the door, Mrs. Sallyman performed an ancient ritual to awaken the existence of the fire demon. The fire demon in the flames showed an alert look. He knew that the person coming was extraordinary, and his eyes fell on Alex. Alex stepped into the flames without fear, his heart filled with determination and determination. Lady Sallyman chanted ancient spells at his side, opening a passage to the depths of the fire demon's mind. The realm of the fire demon was a scene of blazing fire. But in the flames, Alex felt a strange power. His inner being was gradually ignited, but at the same time, his fierce determination became a shield against the power of the fire demon. Under the gaze of the fire demon, Alex begins to review his past experiences and face his inner fears and pain. The power of the fire demon tried to invade his heart, but Alex's love and courage became the most powerful force, and he gradually regained his heart. The fire demon felt this unwavering force, and he stopped trying to restrain Alex. In a burst of brilliant light, the contract was released. The fire demon is not hostile, but has become a free being. He voluntarily chooses to stay in this realm and become the guardian of this fiery land. Alex and Sophie returned to the temple, where Lady Sallyman was with the fire demon. At this time, the temple exudes a sacred atmosphere, as if witnessing the birth of a new life. At this moment, they felt relief and freedom, and began to welcome the beginning of a new life. With their contract with the fire demon broken, Alex and Sophie returned to their newly built little abode. The mysterious power left in the temple has turned into a shelter of happiness, making this place full of tranquility and warmth. A new life begins. Alex and Sophie work together to build this small world. They share every moment of life with the fire demon, and every day becomes a happy memory. Colorful flowers bloomed around the small residence, and the melodious chirping of birds came from the forest, as if the whole world was cheering for their love. In this new land, they learned to tolerate and tolerate each other, and made each other whole. The demon of fire became the guardian of this small family, and his flames were like the beacon of life, lighting up their path forward. Eventually, Alex succeeds in breaking his contract with the fire demon. The fire demon is no longer a bond, but a common force, integrated into their lives. The three of them spent a happy time together under the starry sky at night. In this quiet and mysterious corner, Alex, Sophie, and the fire demon jointly guard their little world. Whenever night falls, the starry sky shines with its light, seeming to tell this story full of miracles and love. Their souls blend together to compose an everlasting melody, filling this land with blessings and tranquility. Their story is like a flowing star, illuminating the way forward. In this dreamy and real world, they embrace every tomorrow together and move towards their future together. As night fell, they fell into a peaceful sleep, and their dreams were still filled with that warm light. Welcome to Serene Sleep Journeys. I'm Mia. If you've enjoyed my channel, I invite you to take a moment to subscribe Tonight's story is called Underwater Witch Usula. In the deep sea of Coral Castle, the mermaid Ariel sings beautiful songs every day among the sunlit coral reefs, her song floating in the sea. However, her heart is full of yearning for the human world. She often stared at the land on the shore from the edge of the sea, her eyes full of longing. One day, she accidentally met the human prince Alec deep under the water. He is a handsome young man, bathing in the sun. Ariel fell in love at first sight, and a strong impulse surged in her heart. She decided to follow her inner voice and leave the comfort of the seabed to find the human world. In order to realize this dream of adventure, Ariel decided to find the legendary underwater witch Usula. She heard that Usula had powerful magic powers that could turn mermaids into humans. In order to get this ability, she must make a deal with Usula. As night falls, Ariel sneaks out of the coral castle, crosses the deep sea, and finds Usula's hiding place. Usula sneered when she saw Ariel, showing her cunning smile. She offers Ariel a deal in which she can spend 3 days on dry land. As long as she's willing to pay the price. Ariel thought for a moment and finally decided to give it a go. She made a deal with Usula, but she didn't know that this decision would trigger a series of changes, not only related to her own destiny, but also to Coral Castle and her beloved father. The moment the deal was completed, Usula sneered, and a mysterious power enveloped the mermaid and was also conveyed to the Coral Castle in the deep sea. After making a deal with Usula, Ariel suddenly found herself transformed into a beautiful human girl. Her fishtail disappeared, replaced by slender legs. The world under the sea was left by her, and her eyes were directed to the land. The moment she set foot on land, she felt an unprecedented sense of freedom and novelty. On land, Ariel experienced all kinds of strange things. She saw towering castles, soaring seagulls, and colorful neon lights. She couldn't help being attracted by human civilization and full of curiosity about this new world. Alec becomes her guide, leading her to experience human daily life. Ariel learned human language, experienced their food, felt their laughter and sorrow. Her relationship with Alec gradually brought her closer to the human world, and Alec was moved by her beauty and innocence. However, Ariel still cares about Coral Castle and her father. She understands that her departure may have caused an irreversible change in the deep sea. Behind her back, Usula is also secretly weaving a conspiracy to imprison her and Coral Castle under the sea forever. In a short period of 3 days, Ariel experienced human life profoundly, and she learned many precious things. However, the bitterness of parting has already been buried in her heart, because she knows that she must fulfill the deal with Usula, return to the deep sea, and face the unknown fate. Ariel, who returned to the deep sea, found that the Coral Castle was no longer the peaceful place it once was. Dark clouds enveloped the entire castle, and a group of huge deep-sea monsters were rampant. Their huge bodies swam among the corals, releasing frightening roars. There was a cold atmosphere surrounding the castle. Ariel's heart sank to the bottom, and she immediately understood that this was revenge from Usula. In order to save her father and the castle, she decided to face this threat head-on. Deep in the castle, she finds her father and finds him in some strange slumber, surrounded by Usula's dark magic. In a corner of the deep sea, Usula proudly observed the chaos of the castle. Her plan unfolds, by unleashing the monsters of the deep, she can both threaten Coral Castle and capture Ariel in the midst of the chaos. She gladly accepts Ariel's arrival, knowing that Ariel must once again make a dangerous agreement with her. Usula put forward new conditions for Ariel, and Ariel, once again, had to pay more for the safety of Coral Castle and her father's life. Usula's voice echoed throughout the castle, her dark magic covering everything. This dark transaction seems to be the intersection of Ariel's fate and that of the entire Coral Castle. In this inevitable decisive battle, Ariel showed unprecedented courage and determination. She and Usula are engaged in a contest of strength. The mysterious power of the seafloor collides with Usula's dark magic, forming a shocking battle. Behind this battle, Ariel deeply understood that every decision she made would have a profound impact on the entire Coral Castle. In the deep sea, the battle between Ariel and Usula heats up. Dark magic intertwined with the mysterious power of the seabed, forming a raging energy vortex. The structure of the undersea castle is crumbling, and the deep sea monsters continue to roar in the chaos, as if the entire seabed is trembling for this battle. Ariel tries her best, using the wisdom and courage she learned from the human world. Her eyes shone with determination, and she understood that she was not only fighting for herself and her father, but also for the peace of the entire Coral Castle. However, Usula's dark power is still powerful, and she continues to release frightening spells in an attempt to defeat Ariel. In this decisive battle in the deep sea, Ariel gradually realized the mysterious power contained in her body. Her mermaid blood and human wisdom blended together to form a new power. She used this power to cleverly counter Usula's offensive, filling the entire deep sea with energy fluctuations. Seeing that the situation was getting worse, Usula began to unleash the dark power more and more. The roars of deep sea monsters become more violent, and the structure of the castle is in danger. However, Ariel's tenacity and determination seemed to resolve everything. She continued to use the mysterious power of the deep sea to dissolve Usula's dark magic one by one, leaving her in a desperate situation. At the most critical moment, the seafloor was filled with a burst of intense light. Ariel's body emits a dazzling light that illuminates the entire deep sea. This light comes not only from her mysterious power, but also from the purity of her heart and her deep love for Coral Castle. This light became a powerful force, gradually suppressing Usula's dark forces. In the final duel, Usula is finally defeated by Ariel. The dark magic gradually dissipated, and the monsters in the deep sea gradually calmed down. Although some cracks were left in the Coral Castle, thanks to Ariel's efforts, it gradually regained its tranquility. The light in the deep sea completely dispelled Usula's conspiracy, and Ariel also felt an unprecedented power. She understood that this battle was not only for herself and Coral Castle, but also for the peace of the entire deep sea. In the tranquility of the deep sea, Coral Castle gradually recovers from the trauma of the battle. Ariel became the new leader of the castle, and she led the mermaids to live a happier and more peaceful life. The laughter and laughter in the castle once again echoed in the halls of the deep sea. The mermaids, under the leadership of Ariel, worked together to make the castle more prosperous. However, Ariel's heart was still immersed in the sadness of separation. she gave up her love with the human prince Alec and chose to stay in the deep sea. Despite this, she did not regret her decision, because she knew that Coral Castle and the entire mermaid tribe were the most important existences in her life. At the same time, Alec has been missing the mermaid on land. Although he didn't know that Ariel had given up the chance to stay with him, the concern in his heart was still deeply rooted. He felt a strange power, as if an invisible bridge had been established between the mermaid's existence and him. Between the deep sea and the land, the two worlds seem to never meet. But this eternal concern keeps the two hearts always connected. Ariel silently wished Alec's happiness in the deep sea, and Alec often looked at the sea on land, conveying his thoughts to the invisible deep sea. In the Coral Castle in the deep sea, Ariel became the leader of the mermaid tribe. She used her wisdom and courage to make the entire tribe more harmonious. While Alec was on land, even though he didn't know Ariel's whereabouts, he deeply felt the profound power of love and care. This story tells us that sometimes putting aside individual happiness and pursuing broader responsibilities and missions is also an extremely great choice. As the current of the deep sea gently embraced the Coral Castle, Ariel felt a soft, hypnotic power gradually spread. Her eyelids grew heavy, as if they were lightly covered in soft seaweed. In this peaceful, deep sea world, she began to be immersed in the waves of dreams. As deep sleep gradually fell, Ariel's thoughts slowly drifted into the distance. She seemed to see Alec's figure on land in a dream, standing on the beach, staring at the boundless sea. And she herself was dancing with her clansmen in the deep sea castle, singing affectionate songs about love and care. As her sleep deepened, she felt a strange connection, as if a transparent bridge had been built between herself and the land. In the dream, she and Alec exchanged silent greetings, conveying deep thoughts and blessings through spiritual communication. Finally, Ariel was immersed in a peaceful dream, and she felt that she was surrounded by the endless love of the deep sea. This is an eternal dream, a deep sea dream that allows her to roam freely in her dream. In her dream, she established an everlasting emotional bond with Coral Castle, her tribe, and Alec. The sound of the receding tide whispers softly in the dream, as if telling an endless legend. In the tranquility of this deep ocean, Ariel found in her dreams the harmony and peace she longed for. The entire deep sea world gradually faded away in the dream. Ariel followed the rhythm of the tide and was immersed in a peaceful dream. The endless sleep slowly enveloped her, like the embrace of the deep sea, taking her into an eternal dream. Good night, Ariel. Good night. She whispered softly in her heart, feeling the tranquility and warmth of the deep sea. She was immersed in this leisurely hypnosis, deeply integrated into this dreamlike, deep sea world. At this peaceful moment, she was wrapped in the gentle good night of the tide, bathed in the soft undersea dream, and began a warm night journey